I just read some bad trip stories, and all I can say is holy shit. I think I definitely would have died. The first time I tripped, on 2 yellow geltabs, I thought I was going to go insane. But as one unfortunate person put it, there will always be someone who has done more than you. Indeed, my friend said that he tripped so hard once he had to go up to trees and touch them to see if they were real. That made me feel better. Anyways, reading about those bad trips made me feel a little sad, so I decided to contribute a happy trip story. That very same friend and I tripped on New Year's Eve, 1999. My friend, Neo, loves to trip, the harder the better. I, on the other hand, am definitely a roller. I would have loved to roll that night, but let me tell you that when you're dead ass broke and you're craving a roll real bad, a mind-bending $5 trip hits the spot real good. We dropped around 11 p.m. and smoked up a little with my sister and my other friend Goku. It seemed like a long time had gone by, and I had actually forgotten that we had dropped already when I started feeling that weird wiry acid feeling. The main thing was Goku's watch. Every time he moved it, the street light would glint off of it, except instead of it being a white glint, it was bright red. Neo and Goku were talking, and Goku flicked away his cigarette, which left a long orange trail behind it. Neo then asked if I was feeling it, which got an emphatic yes. By the time midnight struck, Neo and I were both tripping balls, and it really sucked having to go in and hug my family. We went outside shortly thereafter, and everything was moving. I knew it was cold outside, but I had taken my shoes off and I couldn't feel my feet. Everything was moving really fast, and the grass had a weird pattern on it, like brain coral. Neo came out and we stood together, looking at the clouds. They seemed to be wanting to spell something, but never quite got there. Then I looked at Neo, and he looked ancient. He gave me a hug, and it felt like our bodies were a gummy bear consistency. Goku joined us, and we went to the side of the house, out of sight of my family. The shadows on the wall from the plants were moving all over the place, and the cars looked like they were breathing. I laughed and asked my car if I treated it good, and it actually nodded at me. That was a little scary, but no big deal. Then we went over to Goku's to dance with glowsticks, and that's where the fun really began. Goku wasn't tripping, but he was high and drunk, and is an incredible dancer. He is the one who taught me to dance, and calls me his prodigy. Anyway, when Goku would dance, it looked like he was constructing a pattern around him, like the Epcot ball. Other times the trails formed weird Celtic knots that we couldn't quite figure out. Most of the time it looked like he had 4 arms, and that his hands were eagle's claws holding blue and yellow medallions. It got crazier, too. Sometimes it looked like the trails were going through his body, shooting out his chest and shit. He would do this weird trick where he would move the glowsticks around my face, and it felt like he was picking my head off my neck, twisting it around and putting it back. His body looked like it was fragmenting into 2 or 4 pieces, the way it would look in a shattered mirror. And at one point, when he was really dancing in my face, he was moving his hands back and forth in front of my eyes, and I could see his face through his hands. His hands were translucent or something, and I could see his face clearly, like something you would see in a weird music video. Goku has done a good share of intense shit, but even he had to admit that was crazy. My dancing was good too, but I couldn't really get into it, and I kept dropping the glowsticks. The comforter on the bed had a floral pattern, though, and when the glowstick would fall there, it looked like the liquid inside was combining with the flowers, and the flowers were going into the glowstick. All in all, it was fun, since I can handle acid now. But what I hate most about geltabs is the inability to sleep afterwards. I never had that problem with the wimpy paper hits. Many hours later I began to feel sore, especially in the back and feet. I know geltabs are supposed to spare you this discomfort, but who knows. Neo and I got home, after a very intense drive, let me tell you, at around 5:30 a.m. I thought the trip was going away, but I was wrong. My feet looked white and the joints looked purple, and they looked like the feet of a corpse. It didn't bother me, but they did hurt, and were about as cold as a corpse's feet too. I kept saying I thought I had frostbite, in Miami. Yay right. My room looked really pretty. It had a soft pinkish glow, and everything seemed really colorful and interesting. I never realized what a good tripping room I had, even though a friend told me so a long time ago. Well, I got in bed, and hard as I might try, I could not sleep. When I closed my eyes, I kept seeing a weird pattern of shapes that looked like letters, but not quite. Maybe they were alien letters. Anyway, they were all over everything, as though a screen of them had been draped over my eyes, and they were turning every color of the rainbow. I had been seeing them since the beginning of the trip, and were getting annoying. After miserably watching the sun come up, I fell asleep for a few hours, and had all sorts of acid dreams, which looked like splatters of paint being shot this way and that. I was completely fried and exhausted the next day. At least I didn't feel like rolling anymore, though. All I can say about acid is that it's fun if you can handle it. It should definitely be done with someone who has a lot of experience with it, as this makes you feel safe. I would also definitely recommend not to half-ass it, because if you do, you will feel uncomfortable and not have any visuals. Let's face it, LSD is not a physically pleasant feeling. What's great about it is the mind-blowing shit you will see. I have never hallucinated off it before, but the amount of colors on everything is amazing. Also, have other alternative things planned. Dancing with glowsticks is amazing, but since acid is not rolling, you will get tired of it relatively soon. Have good movies ready, particularly Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You will laugh until your stomach hurts. The Matrix is also good. Nothing sad, or you will completely ruin your trip. I saw Deep Impact tripping because I thought it would be cool. Big mistake. I came home wanting to be with my family, and I was totally depressed. Also, I know I am probably an exception, but I tend to get starving towards the end of my trip, so have good food ready. And plenty to drink. Mainly, have things to keep you occupied and having fun, because if you let your mind wander while on that shit, you could get in mad trouble. Peace out.